we'll get into. Let's have fun. Let's play a little wish list game, okay?
I would think about bringing Gasol to Boston, as unexciting as that is.
Well, let's go into the unexciting tier of big men. Unexciting tier of big men include potentially Gasol, Tristan Thompson, whose name was kicked around, and honestly, they should have figured out a way to make that happen.
Yeah, what happened there?
I don't know if he changed his mind. It is what it is. As we know, Kanter has a player option. Another couple of bigs out there again. And again, let's go into the former Celtic class. One of you guys, when we were talking about this, mentioned Baines. Again, I don't think anybody would object to a return engagement here with Baines. And he might have been a difference maker, healthy for them this season.
Healthy's key. I think I couldn't stay healthy when he was.
I know. Yeah, that was the problem. He couldn't stay healthy, and obviously
too many kicks for the groin.
The Celtics didn't want to part ways with him. It was more of a money thing. They were strapped for cash.
Well, they had to do something there, and they just and that was tough. And then there's another weird one out there, which I don't think is going to happen. But Dwight Howard's also another big who I want nothing to do with.
That's gross.
I don't see that fitting.
Give me Enes Kanter on a 10-year contract rather than Dwight Howard for a year.
Yeah,
I'm not Aaron Baines' former teammates just getting together and just hitting him up on the phone or whatever, Skype, whatever it takes, and just say, hey, look, this is what we did last season. We think that you could fill a void that we need, toughness, all that stuff. That
Baines makes too much sense, right?
What's that?
Baines makes too much sense, doesn't it? But you got a problem, though. I mean, if Kanter's probably, as you said, player option. He's going to come back, I think, right?
Yeah.
So now what are you going to do? You're going to float You're going to float him and Williams and Tice and Baines. You really need Kanter to not be here.
Yeah, he's going to opt in.
And you need Kanter to not be here to bring in another big. You're going to tie up 4 spots to the center position?
Well, what if Danny Ainge, for some reason, and we've seen it before, what if he falls in love with some first rounder who's not projected to be a top 10, or maybe he is, and he can finagle a trade, and maybe we see some of those guys that we're waiting for them to part ways with. One of those rookies, you couple it together with some of the draft picks he has for this pick, or for this draft, excuse me, and then you see him go out and get that player. You cut some salary, but at the same time, you're picking up another guy. I don't know if if he'll go that route.
You can take any 3. I don't care. Take
them all.
Take my rookies.
I mean, that way you can create a little bit of more cap space. Maybe, the way Danny does things, he can be flexible.
Yeah.
But you're not going to create cap space, but you can move.
They don't make anything.
You can move those centers realistically, and Vincent Poirier.
I'm talking about Kanter.
Poirier, oh my God!
He's on the books. He's signed. He's not.
Is he? Yeah. These guys are movable though, in some sense. They're always movable, especially Kanter. Someone would take a Kanter, so they can find ways to create roster spots. In fact, Semi Ojeleye, Javonte Green, those guys are non-guaranteed. I love the idea of Thompson. I think he fills a need on both ends of the court. He's not the best pick and roll guy, which is what they run through the centers, but defensively on the boards, he would fill some valuable minutes for them. And I look at it and say he's a guy who would leave his team. They have Andre Drummond in Cleveland. He's played in Cleveland for too long. No one wants to play in Cleveland that long. And realistically, I don't see a big deal for him. Like, are the Knicks, are the Hawks, are those teams going to dedicate big money to him? They're not. So he's realistically a guy that I think they could sign for $5.7 million or whatever that exception is going to be. And I think he would make a significant difference on the team. He could even start.
I like Thompson a lot. I think he might make more than that, though. I think he could at least. I mean,
for who?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to.
There's some bad teams out there.
Their needs are.
Yeah.
But even if you're a good team, I mean, you can't use a mobile big man. I mean, a guy who's a proven veteran in this league, played with LeBron, won a championship, knows what it takes to win. I'm sure he's got some leadership
LeBron could scoop him up. That's a good point.
That's for
sure. I mean, we're not worried about what. Obviously, Thompson would love to go to LA. Obviously, got some Kardashian blood there. But I think Thompson would be a great fit if he would want to play in Boston.
Right. That's not the point of this exercise. We don't know where they want to go. We just want to talk about who we think fits here.
Sure. I'll throw a guy out there.
the problem is Thompson just plays himself off the floor in a lot of situations, and that's always going to be
throws, yeah.
Yeah, and then the free throws and right. And so I just don't want specialists. I want guys who can you can put in there and you can trust. And I think Baines is just better all around, more rounded, and you know that it works here.
I think Baines gets paid, though. I mean, he earned it. The 9 3-point game.
I'm hoping between the injuries and the loyalty to Boston and liking being here.
The loyalty?
The loyalty after he got traded?
They love him. They were hi. They were so upset about it.
Oh, Danny. Aaron, hey, buddy. How you doing? Sorry about that dump to Phoenix, buddy.
Jimmy, if it takes a video tribute, another one, the 12th one in the last 3 years to get it done, why not? Go ahead.
Do it. All right,
the only thing it's going to talk is money. I have one sleeper big man before you go into the next one.
No, I got one too.
Oh, you do? Do you want to go?
No, go.
Okay, my sleeper big is Willie Trill, Cauley Stein. Here's a guy before everyone, writes him off.
Boo.
Drafted by Sacramento Kings. So right off the bat, doomed.
That's bad.
Just doomed.
That's bad for you.
Drafted to the Kings, is completely inept franchise 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
They screwed up Isaiah.
They screw everybody up there.
Rondo made him look all right, though, that 1 year.
Every single player who gets drafted by them or goes to that organization, DeMarcus Cousins, you can go down the line. There's a culture. You want to talk about culture. There's no culture there. I've never been in the city. I'm not talking about the city. I'm just talking about the organization. It's completely inept. So he goes there, probably has the worst start to a career that you can have for a high lottery pick. And then he goes to Golden State thinking, you know what? I'm going to a winning franchise now. Here we go. And I'm ready to prove myself. Then what happens in Golden State? Injuries like crazy. They tank the season. I still think he gets a taste of the culture and the winning tradition, not tradition, but the winners over there. Gets traded to Dallas and just gets stuck on a team that he's behind players that are going to be playing ahead of him. We don't have to go down the name Porzingis, all the way down the line. So he didn't really get a chance to show himself, and then has a kid over the summer, doesn't go into the bubble, doesn't play in the bubble. So this guy's been working, I think, behind the scenes. He wants to prove himself. He's short money. I think he's going to opt out of he has an opt-out player option for Dallas.
Jimmy sounds like his
agent. Really? How long have you been buying this dude? Jesus.
I think he opts out, and I think he's looking for a prove-it deal, a year or two, and the Celtics can offer playing time, and can offer him, monetarily what I think there's a little bit of a match there. That's my style.
But the problem is if he opts out,
is right.
But if he opts out, he's doing it for money. And that means he has to believe he can get money. And if he's out, and if he opts out because he's going to get money, that means he's not going to get.
No, I think he's doing it for not just money, but for opportunity. If he's going to opt into a $2.5
so he needs a makeover, you're saying?
Yeah, he'd be the third center.
Yeah, I think what Jimmy's saying that he's looking. He watched the Eastern Conference Finals and was drooling over that matchup against Bam Adebayo. Maybe I'm the guy that this team needs to put him over the top, or at least match up against Miami Heat better. I see it.
Fair enough.